Happy September. Welcome everybody that's here. I am sweating it out in my attic, friends. I cannot believe how hot it is. It is still very much summer here in New Jersey, and I'm so excited to be here. If you're here, and it would be wonderful if you could give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. That would be wonderful. But please leave a note in the comments so that I can say hello to you and where you're from. I also offer one-on-one knitting and crochet help. If you just want to learn in a one-on-one setting via Zoom, I'm happy to do that with you. And you can find all of that information in the description box below. Hey, everybody that's here. Good to see you. So what have I been doing this week besides sitting in the sun? Because I come home on Wednesdays and Thursdays so that I can get the work done that I need to do. Anything that I need. Hi, Kimberly. Anything that I need to get done on my knitting machine. That's why I come home on Wednesdays to get that done. And then on Thursdays, that's when I set up a lot of my Zoom appointments and I come on here. So going forward, toward the end of, well, actually it's going to start next week. I don't know why I'm not saying that, but well, there's three Kimberlys on here. Hello, Kim Hansen. Nice to see you. Good morning. So I'm going to start adding an extra video on the YouTube channel on Tuesdays. And that's going to be, it's going to be a technique, because honestly, I love coming on here and I love chatting with you and seeing you in the chat, but there are things that I can't do, like show you my hands and do other things like that for techniques that I really would like to do. So I thought on Tuesdays there would be a regular form video, not a live, and I'm going to start that next week. So I'm very excited to start that, and I have a couple things that I'm working on, and I'm excited. Coming up for me, I'm going to Affinity, which is Monday to Thursday, I believe. I'm going to leave on Wednesday, but I'm going to be helping my friend Tabitha at Long Island Yarn and Farm at her booth, and we're going to be there and say hello to everybody. Sadly, I will not be at New Jersey Sheep and Wool this year. I will still be lizarding on the beach. But don't worry, I will be at Rhinebeck and Cake Palooza. So I'm looking forward to all of those things coming up. Hi, Gail. Nice to see you. Gail is in my In Bloom sweater class that we're doing. There's the In Blooms. Oh, look how matchy I am with Black Pearl Magic with Shayla's bag and then my dress. So this dress I love. My husband calls it, I have it in 3 colors. My husband calls it my Mrs. Roper dress. I'm telling you, when it's hot out here, I just want to throw something on and not worry about anything else. So what else is going? I have to roll up my sleeves because it is warm up here. I have the air on, but we'll see. So last week, if you didn't get to see last week's video, I had started all the things. I had started another one of the sweater that I'm going to wear at Rhinebeck. I had started my In Bloom sweater that I'm doing in boucle. Wait till you guys see it. And then I also was working on the Casapinka knit along. I don't think I did that last week. I don't think I brought it, but I worked on that. I have the last-ish clue, I think. And I just have to knit that one. So I'm pretty excited about all the knitting that's coming up. And then a little bit later, I'm going to talk about fall. Like what am I wearing for fall? If it's like this, I'm going to be wearing a bathing suit. So first, let me show you last week. This was simply a neckline. And over the weekend, I finished knitting until the underarm split. And so what's going to happen now is I'm going to be able to stick this up on my knitting machine. I was going to do it yesterday because usually Wednesdays is when I like do my knitting and things that I have to catch up on. But I want to video it. I did do like a quick one. It's in my reels on Instagram, but I really want to do an in-depth talk about how we do that. I love this one. So this is like the toddler version, right? So it's just the yoke. And actually I've already separated for the sleeves, the front and the back. And then this is the grown up. So isn't it cool how just simply changing colors completely changes things? I think that's so crazy. So I did the yoke knitting on this. And for anybody who has said yes that they want to test knit this, the test knit is definitely going out this afternoon. I know I said that last week, but when I was working on it, I found an error. And so it actually caused me to have to do a lot of math for every single size. So I finished that and I knit this. And so that is ready to go. That's the first thing I want to show you. And I'm so excited about it. Hello, Jean. It's welcome. It's nice to see you. So last week, if you remember, I was talking about my In Bloom sweater, which I keep pointing to it. It's right there. And I was telling you about working with hand-dyed yarns and how I kind of compensate for the fact that there can be a wide range of what the colors look like in when it's caked up. And if you want to go watch that, go ahead and do that. That was episode 40. And so I knit my In Bloom sweater. I only have the sleeves left to do. Squee. And so I'll show you what happens and how I'm kind of thinking on the fly of how to use my hand-dyed yarn so that everything kind of looks like it's supposed to be. Now, one of my tips from last week was to cake everything up, look in the cake and see if there is like some super dark ones or some super light ones. And then you can kind of work them like it is a fade. Or you can definitely, if you're going to knit them, two strands together, you can take a light one and a dark one and knit two strands together. For me, I prefer to do light to dark, but I had already started my In Bloom because, the workshop is going on. And I just wanted to I wanted to get started. I was so excited. So let me show you where I am. Oh my gosh, this is like a total matchy thing. This is the beautiful boucle from Fashion School Dropout, my friend Kelly. She actually will also be at Cake Palooza with me. Last year, we were right next to each other. Oh, I was so excited. And this is her color Peace Train. So I have slit for the sleeves. Look at how pretty this color is. Now I wanted to make a large cardigan that was just going to be like an oversized, happy thing to wear. The thing about the In Bloom sweater is there are no buttons. You absolutely can, put buttons in it if you want to put buttons, but there aren't any buttons. And so I wanted something oversized that I could just kind of snuggle into. And let me tell you, picking the boucle, obviously this is beautiful. It's mohair held double, but picking the boucle just creates this like cloud of I put it on this morning actually because I split for the sleeves and I was so excited for it. So far I have used 2 1/4 skeins. So I want to show you. If you remember from last week, 2 of the skeins were a little bit darker and 2 of the skeins were a little bit lighter. Now, because I use my knitting machine. Hi, girly. Nice to see you. because I used my knitting machine, I had a little bit of play to work with. So if you remember, not if you remember, but on a cardigan, the two fronts are what, is going to be public. So I knit the top by hand. I knit until the sleeve split. And then I put the rest on my machine yesterday. That's what I was working on. So I put it on. So I did the first front. Okay. And that was the same yarn. So I don't have any differences. This was the second skein, which was also used before the armhole split. All right. And then I also had enough to do this front on my knitting machine. So everything looks very copacetic, right? Like there's no like line delineation of where the yarns stopped. And the reason why I did this is I don't want to do helical knitting. I did it on one of my lovely tees and it wasn't my favorite, friends. So I'm not going to do it. Not my favorite. So the next thing I did was the back. Okay. And if there was going to be any like demarcation line or line between one skein to the next skein, having it on the back is fine, right? Like I don't really care. When people take my picture, they take it from the front. They don't take it from the back. So if there is a little bit of, you can kind of see that line, I wasn't going to worry about it. So as you can see, there's the back. So there is a little bit of a difference. You can see that there is a lot more of the little speckles than there are at the top. But friends, I can't really see a difference and I absolutely love it. So what I did was I used the second skein. It ended up to be about 20 rows of the back. Now remember, it's the actual back, not the entire piece, because I'm not knitting it in one piece. I was knitting the back and the sides. And so I used the skein that looked darker. Okay, so here's what's left. It's a little over half, right? It's a little over half left. And then I have this last skein. It's so blown out. I apologize, but it is markedly lighter. Do you see? I mean, I can definitely tell. It's very much lighter than this one. And all I have left are the sleeves. So what am I going to do? Well, let me tell you. So I seamed this up. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And also on my machine. So you can only knit stockinette on the machine. Everything else has to be hand manipulated, whether you want to do, the garter stitch a band, or you want to do lace, or you're doing decreases or increases. All that is done by hand. Excuse me. So what I did was I had to take out the first 3 stitches and I had to knit them back all the way up to the armhole. And that was fun, actually. I actually really liked doing that. So it was really cool. So that's what I did yesterday. Now, when I start to knit for the sleeves, what I'm going to do is take out my kitchen scale. I'm sorry, it's really warm up here. I'm going to take out my kitchen scale, and the remainder of this skein, I'm going to weigh it. So it is, I think it's 100 grams. Here's another color of hers in Chanel. So it's 100-gram skein. So whatever I have left, let's say I have 64 ounces left. I'm going to divide that by 2, which is going to be 32 ounces. And I'm going to wind off 32 ounces. And the way that I do that is I'm going to put my kitchen scale with my skein on it, have my skein winder, or if you're doing it by hand, do it that way, and simply wind off until my kitchen scale says 34 or whatever, 32 or whatever half of this is. Then I'm going to take those two halves and I'm going to start the sleeves. So one half will be for one sleeve and one half will be for the other sleeve. Then when I run out of yarn, then I'm going to start this light one so that the light part is going to be at the bottom, the bottom-ish, the bottom 3/4 or whatever it ends up being. That's what this light color is going to be. And so that's how I can maneuver the colors, the difference in colors, which in my opinion is the beauty of hand-dyed yarn. That way I can maneuver the colors. Another way I could have done it was I could have done the two front panels if I wanted to. The two fronts, I could have done those in the lighter color and the back. That would have eaten up this, and then done the sleeves in the darker colors. So it's kind of another way to express yourself creatively to do this. So I hope that you enjoy when you receive hand-dyed yarn, and I hope you enjoy maneuvering it into different ways in your knitting so that it turns out spectacular, right? Because it's hand knit. They're beautiful, beautiful patterns out there, and so that's a follow-up to what I was talking about last week with hand-dyed yarns. Gail says that's a great tip. Oh, thank you. Jean says the sweater is so interesting. Thank you. Yeah, look at the different, like, friends, I'm not putting this on. Check out, come next week and see what's going on with the sweater, because it'll be finished and it'll be blocked and I'll be so excited. I love this sweater so much. It has a saddle shoulder, a folded over collar. There is two different ways to do a provisional cast on. If you're afraid of doing provisional cast ons, the knitters in the workshop, that's one of the biggest things that that comments that they're making is that they didn't knit certain patterns because they were intimidated by provisional cast-ons. I teach two different ways to do it in the workshop, and I'm so thrilled that you never know what the takeaway is going to be when you do these workshops. That's why they can be so exciting. So the provisional cast on here, the pattern is either the pullover or the cardigan. Pretty saddle shoulder. It's a puffy sleeve, so it could be just this light as air thing that you wear over a tank top and dressy pants, or you could wear leather pants or pleather pants, whatever your lifestyle chooses, to dress it up a little bit with heels. I just find it to be an incredibly functional sweater. I will be wearing mine at Cake Palooza the weekend of Rhinebeck on that Friday. I think it's the 21st. I'm not really sure. So Gail is saying that she was scared of it. She was scared of the provisional cast on, but it's no big deal. It's just take one step at a time, friends. And that is with anything in life, take one thing at a time, one step at a time. And it doesn't seem so overwhelming, right? Like when you have to write a paper, I tell this to my kids all the time. When you have to write a paper, simply write an outline. That's the first thing you have to do. And then go for a walk and then come back and write an introduction and come back. So when you break it down into pieces, it doesn't seem so overwhelming. That's what I love about sweater knitting. When you take it into yoke, body, you can even break that down, front and back of body, and then sleeves. It doesn't seem like so giant of a project. Gail says, you just need a great teacher. Thank you, Gail. I appreciate that. Okay. So that is that. I'm so excited for this, and we have 2 weeks left in the workshop. It's so much fun. If you could all for a second right now, there's 15 of you on there. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button and subscribed, I would really appreciate if you did that. That is a non-monetary way that you can help me and my channel, and I sincerely appreciate it. Okay, the last thing that I have to show you that I've been working on. I got a lot done since last Thursday. I was pretty excited that I got so much done. Is the Casapinka make along. Now, I think the last clue has been sent out, and I've printed it out, but I haven't worked it yet, because here is the place where you can add length if you want. And I haven't decided if I wanted to add length yet. But if you're doing it and you don't want to see, if you're doing the make along and you haven't done it yet and you don't want to see mine, look away, avert your eyes. I love these colors. Now, I saw these colors. Skein Yarn Shop had Miss Babs, and I believe they're now a stockist. So here was the 6th clue. It's so long. I don't really know that I need length, and I'll probably kind of stretch it a little bit to get a little bit more width, because I like my shawls a little wider. So maybe that's why I would add length on this shawl, so that when I stretch it, if you stretch something that's square, that's rectangle, it's gonna shorten up because you're stretching it, right? So maybe I will. Thank you all for helping me make that decision. So here it is. This was the end of clue 5. And isn't it cool how it, like, I can't wait to block it. It gives this little, like, whoop at the end. Almost like a Whoville tree, right? And that's because there is a double decrease on the edge here, which causes it to do that. Oh, all right. So I'm going to show you the rest. So here we go. Isn't it pretty? And it's so fun to do because there's like different stuff going on. This is where we began. This is where we began. Maybe it is wide enough. Actually, it is wide enough. I think I'm going to do the, so what it is this was the last clue, clue 6, which is the same as the beginning. And to add extra length, you can do, so this is color A and color B, which is, geez Louise, I can't get this, which is right here, color A and color B. So you can add C and D here, and then do the end, which is like that Whoville tree. So maybe I'll do that. I don't really know. Woo, isn't it great? So that's that. So that will be a finished. I think next week it's going to be like all the finished objects. I'm going to have so many things done. I'm so excited. Although I won't have a lot of knitting time, because I will be at Affinity Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But I think that's what thank you for that. Girly says, lovely colors. So that would be what I'm going to bring as, and actually that has been my fun knitting, I would say. When I get my work done, it's been my fun knitting. So I really enjoyed it. I also have seen that West Knits MCAL is coming up, and it's for 4 skeins, and it's a gradient. And I have my eye on a colorway from Ted Knits in the UK, and I'm thinking that I might want to do that. I don't know. It's such a fun thing to do. I didn't think that I would like the mystery knit. I'll tell you what the cons on the mystery knit. when a clue is sent out and it's one specific clue, I actually am very impatient waiting for the next clue. So that was the only con was my impatience, which really had nothing to do with the pattern, had nothing to do with anything. It was simply my impatience. So, you know what? I'm doing it. I have knit Stephen West shawls before, but I have not done one as it's going. And so I think I'm going to do that. Who else is doing it? And where did you get your yarn? Let me know in the comments. Megan is doing it. Her yarn arrives tomorrow. Where did you get your yarn? Girly says she often buys the mystery knit along and then to try it out, and then she just falls off. That's very easy to do. Gail actually is doing it. So I'm excited. So I think, and the gradient color set that I think I'm going to order are greens. I love green. I love the earth. So Megan is getting it from Stephen, and it's the peach colors. Beautiful. Gail is getting it from Stephen, and she got hers from Stephen and Penelope. Kimberly says she has Moonglow yarn. She has gorgeous colors. She's still on the fence. She does the start and then falls off too. What I like about it is, let's say I'm knitting all day. I was knitting on this, which is very woolly yarn, which I love. And it is on an 8 needle. And it, not that it's hard on my hands because I take breaks and I stretch, but it is a completely different feel than fingering weight yarn on a 6. Man, I love fingering weight yarn. Yes. Girly, I'm the same. She wants to buy from Stephen, but it's almost 25 euros in shipping. The shipping is really costly, but for some reason I'm really attracted. Maybe I'll go to my local yarn shop. My birthday's coming up and I usually get a gift certificate, so maybe I'll do that. Does anybody know when it starts? Let me know. So let's talk about fall. Fall in the Northeast, in New Jersey specifically, it can either be 90 degrees or it can be 50 degrees. So my favorite things to wear in the fall are layering pieces. I love to wear my short sleeve sweaters with a jeans jacket over them so that I can wear the jacket in the morning and then take it off. So layering is the way to go in the fall until it hits about the end of October, beginning of November, where it could be 40s and 50s all day. And then, that's my jam. October 2nd. Thank you, Gail. Okay, so Girly saying it was 35 Fahrenheit in July. It's warmer right now. Wow. So I love layering pieces, and I think I'm going to do a reel later because my hair turned out pretty. I think I'm going to do a reel later on, on my favorite fall sweaters and what to wear with it. Those are always fun to do. And this afternoon, after I get all my Zooms done, I will have a couple hours so I can get that done. Let's see. Do any of you have your fall knitting set up yet? And what about when you go to Rhinebeck? Like, do you have everything set up? Like you're on a mission to go to certain people, certain vendors, and you have like how much you need? How do you guys do that? I'm always curious. I'm more of a see it, want it, buy it kind of girl. I don't plan things very well. But I really want to know, how do you plan for wool festivals? The New Jersey Sheep and Wool is this weekend. And Rhinebeck is coming up. I know that there are others, but those are the ones that I am familiar with. So how do you do that? Do you go and get inspired there? Do you do the once around and then go back? And I don't know how to do it. Last year was my very first year at Rhinebeck, and I was very overwhelmed, and I bought nothing. The highlight was I got buttons from Ken from Is This Ken Yarn, and I met up with, with podcasters, Vanessa of the Nitty Witch podcast, and stuff like that. Girly is on a trip, and she has a suitcase and two big packs of yarn. That's true. When I'm going away, the very first thing I pack is yarn. Projects and yarn, and making sure that I have everything I need to succeed when I'm knitting on vacation. It's the very first thing I do. And actually, my son and his girlfriend for my birthday last year gave me the greatest bag. Let's see if I can show it to you. I actually take it back and forth from the beach because it is big enough to hold my computer, all of my computer accessories. This is my very official podcast microphone. And so it holds everything, and then it holds a knitting project on top. And here it is. So it's a very nice size. Oh, there's something in the corner there. I'll have to check out what that is. So it is a very nice size. And then when you open it up, so I have my iPad in here. This is what I carry around and I write notes in when I'm writing a pattern. I have needles. Now you can knit through the top of this. Isn't it cool? And plenty and plenty of pockets for my notions, for my cameras and everything that I need to do. This is like my traveling workshop, right? My studio. That's what I meant. My traveling studio. So I love it. And let me tell you the brand. Pavolia, Pavilla. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description box. But I absolutely love it. And so that is pretty much this week. I will be working on finishing up the video tutorials for the workshop, for the sleeves, phony seams, and the pleat, and finishing. And then I will be knitting on, I'm going to actually, hey, where'd she go? This will be finished next week. And my fun knitting, which is the Casapinka Make-Along, Mystery Knit-Along. So that's all for me this week. I hope you all stay cool or stay warm wherever you are in the world. I hope you're knitting on things that make you happy and bring you joy. And if you have any issues with your knitting, I do have one-on-one sessions via Zoom that I help people with their knitting. So if everything is linked in the description box for the one-on-one knitting, just reach out to me and I'm happy to help. I also have a free pattern if you want to join my mailing list. The Emily Hat pattern you'll receive free when you join my mailing list. And on my mailing list will be the latest videos that I have up, any workshops that are coming up, and discounts on new patterns for you guys. So I really hope that you have a wonderful week. I love coming on here and spending time with all of you. I will be back next week at 11:30 a.m. on Thursday. But look this Tuesday for a tip technique video coming on YouTube on Knit a Rainbow. Once again, I hope you all have a wonderful week, a wonderful weekend, and do something that makes you happy, friends. Take care.